What it do, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another video. And before I get off into this video, I want to send a shout out to all you fathers out there who handle their business, hitting that 9 to 5, making sure that their children have shoes on their feet, clothes on their back, a roof over their head, and food on the table. Being good husband to their wives if you still married and all that. But if you're not, you still taking care of your kids. I salute you, because it's not said enough. It's not praised enough. It's not recognized enough how important a father is in their children's life. Their presence is very vital. And I just leave it at that. So, salute. Anyway, so let's get into this. Now, there's a whole bunch of hoopla, a whole bunch of debating, a whole bunch of back and forth and back about who's going to win next gen, who's going to position themselves to take the throne, who is going to gain market share, and who is going to lose, and even possibly forfeit and bow out the whole gaming industry entirely. And I find it funny because this argument often goes on with just gamers and narrow-minded gamers who only see certain things as measurements for success and failure. If you're looking at these systems and the only thing you see is gigaflops and teraflops and CPU and GPU card and power and 8 gigs of this and 1 gig of that and 3 gigs for this and 3 operating systems and oop the oop and whoop the whoop and deep the poop the poop, and yeah, you off. Your mind is narrow and you are not looking at this picture in its totality. Now that I got that out the way, there are two consumers. And you can break these consumers down multiple ways, but for the most part, there are only two consumers: the informed and the uninformed. Now, the informed are the gamers who know what they want, who frequent YouTube, who frequent these internet sites, who listen to podcasts while they work at their job. I'm not saying no names, leveled head. These people, the informed, who know what's going on, who know what to expect, who knows what's under the hood, who knows what the general cost is going to be once you get everything you need to enjoy these systems. These are the informed. And then you have a few parents thrown off in this equation that investigate and keep up and know the business as well. Then you have the uninformed. The folks who only know that their daughter or their son or their nephew or their grandchild wants a new system, and they said it's an Xbox One or it's a PlayStation 4 or a Wii U, and that's all they know. And then they go to Walmart, Best Buy, GameSpot, and then they try to pick it up if they can afford it, if it's in their price range. And let me tell you something. The uninformed are the majority. See, the informed are the minority. And that's another thing that is never really looked at. The informed, the gamers that are informed are the minority. We don't choose or we don't dictate whether a system is successful or a system is a failure. The minority does. The majority does. The uninformed consumer does that. And I'm going to prove it to you in a second. So now you see the situation. And I said we the gamers are the minority. Now how we help the system is, and this is what these companies understand, and this is what they've been knowing all of 7th gen and will be the same all of 8th gen. We are good for an initial burst at lunch. It's like track and field. I was a track and field star. I was a 100-yard dash, 200-yard dash, 4x1, 4x2, and every now and again I ran 300 hurdles. But my race was the 100-yard dash. I ran about a 10.6, 10.5 on a good day, average around a 10.8, 10.7, pretty quick. Now, the purpose we serve for these companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, is a good burst, a good initial launch, a good jump out the blocks, so to speak. Because in track and field, you get down in the blocks. If you ever watch Usain Bolt and him racing, at the Olympics or wherever else. You see them get down in the blocks and they got their hands spread out and they got their hands spread out in their little track and their little lane. And you see them raise up and the gunfire, you see them blast out the blocks. For the first 20 yards, that's going to be important. That blast out the block is going to set you up for the finisher for the rest of the race, but it won't dictate whether you will win the race. It just give you a good chance, put you in a position to take advantage of where you're at. If you understand what I'm saying. Because the race is not dictated until about the 40 or 50 yard mark. That's when you know who finna pull away. That's when you start seeing the real power and the real strength and the real speed of these athletes in track and field. Around the 40, 50 yard mark, when they come up out that low and they digging into that dirt, into that track, and they're pumping their arms and they come up into their stride and they're running like a horse and they sweating and they grinding. That's when you know, because they start pulling away around the 40 and the 50. And that initial burst out the blocks only got them to a good position. It don't dictate anything, because it could be people behind them that when that speed hit, they'll leave them in the dust. And they didn't even get a good burst, a good jump out the block. Now, I know that went on with that analogy, and I'm pretty sure y'all understand. So let's get it in. You have the informed, the gamer, they walk into a store. Let's say they walk into Best Buy or a GameStop, wherever. They walk into the store, they already know what they finna get. I want a PlayStation 3. I want an Xbox One. I want a Wii U, whatever. They know how much it costs. They know what game they're going to get. They know they got to get an extra controller. They already did the research. They know how much this is going to hit them on their pocket. They done made the decision they've been putting back for a while to make this happen. They walk in the store, they ask the clerk, the person who's in their area, the CSR, the customer rep, whoever you want to call them. I want an Xbox One. I want a PS4. I want a Wii U. They go get the Wii U. They put it on the counter. I want these two games. I want a controller. They do that. Do you want insurance? No, I don't need insurance. They pay for everything. They walk out the store. They go home and they play their system. Why? Because they are informed. They know. They already made their mind up. Then you have the uninformed, the grandpa and the grandma, the uncle and the aunt, the mother and the father that just heard their son or their nephew or their grandchild say, I want this particular system. And they go into the same store and they say, well, I want to buy an Xbox One for my child. And they say, so I need to see the Xbox One. So they take them to the Xbox One and they say, well, what do all I need to get this for my child? I want to buy it for his birthday. I want to buy it for Christmas. I want to buy it to surprise him, whatever. Well, they say, well, it's $4.99. You got to have internet. Well, they say, well, he has the 360. I don't think he has to have internet for that. Well, with the Xbox One, he got to have internet. Okay, well, does it come with a game? Nope. So you got to buy a game that's $59.99. And does he have friends or any other child in the house? Yes, he has a younger brother and a younger sister, and they probably going to want to play too. So you got to buy an extra controller to keep them from arguing. So that's another $59.99. We don't really know how much the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One controller going to cost, but I just use the Wii U's price of the Pro controller as a foundation or a guide. So I put $59.99. It could be more, and but it ain't gonna be no less. Believe you me. So then you add on tax, which bring you to a grand total of $733.30 on the other side of the period. So that means that grandpa or that grandma or that uncle or that aunt or that mother or that father are gonna have to cough up $733.30 just to buy one game and extra controller for their child on Christmas. And you think for a second that that's going to succeed in today's market? Yeah, it might succeed with the well-off. But for the majority of the folks that's going to be spending their money on this system, that will not succeed. Same with the PlayStation 4. They walk in with my child said he wants a PlayStation 4. Well, sir, that's $3.99. Does he play online? Yes, he do. He loves Call of Duty. Or he loves this, that, and the third. Well, that's another $60 because it's no longer free anymore. Then does he have Any friends? Yes, he has friends. He has a sister or a brother. There go another controller. You add on tax, $625.30. Now that's a little bit more attractive than the Xbox One because that's $100 cheaper. Right at $98 cheaper, depending on what your tax rate in your city or state, whatever. Depending on the tax rate, that might drop $10, $15 or might go up $10, $15. I don't know, but this is mine. So you're looking at $625 and some change, people. That's steep. And then you got the Wii U Deluxe. Internet is free. You get a game. So if you buy an extra game, that means you got 2 games. You buy an extra controller, that means you got 2 controllers. And on top of that, it only costs you $507. Now you say, well, the Wii U don't look lucrative. It isn't enticing to the eyes. So you say, because a lot of us as gamers and a lot of this community only listen to the same people who try to persuade you to think a certain way. But the consumer is thinking with their pocket and their checkbook and their credit card and their bottom line of how hard is this going to hit my pocket. And I'm telling you, this Christmas, just like last Christmas, the same thing that happened to the Wii U, with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 selling like crazy, will repeat itself. And you can add the Wii U in on them sales. Because they're going to look and they're going to be like, well, I've been wanting to jump into the HD market. These systems going to be a little bit more cheaper. Like you see down here, the PlayStation 3 is still $299. By this time, the Wii U will have a lot of games on the market, and a lot of the games that matter to consumers and their children is going to be on the Wii U. You got Watch Dogs, you got all the other games, and I'm pretty sure Ghost is coming. Now, it might not, but I'm pretty sure it is. You got all this coming. As a consumer, which system are you thinking they're going to buy? Do you think they're going to buy Xbox One at $733? Beyond the fan base, beyond the core? Do you think the PlayStation 4 is going to sell like crazy? It's going to sell. Because you got the option of buying internet. And you might be able to take a controller off if you're the only one that's going to be playing it. So it might be at a lucrative spot, but for the most part, you're going to have to buy an extra controller. And if you really want to enjoy it, you're going to have to buy internet. So, when you look at the totality and the real bottom line, next gen is going to be sort of like what we just saw with the Wii U. Sort of like what we saw with the PS Vita, and sort of like we saw with the 3DS at launch. It's going to come out the gates hot, it's going to blast out, and then it's just going to stall. And it's going to stall harder, in my opinion, than the Wii U did. Just a prediction, a logical, factual prediction, but a prediction nonetheless. So I want y'all to add y'all comments down below based off what I'm presented before you, based off what you see. And if you see anything wrong and not right, correct me. Make sure keep me on point, keep me in line. But this is next gen gaming cost. This is what it's going to take to come and join the next gen gaming world. Like I said, us informed gamers probably don't mind spending this. I do. I mean, there's a lot. You might well go and get a gaming PC. That's steep too. So this don't look as grand as people love to paint it and people love to look at it. That's all I'm saying. But your boy about to sign out. Deuces. Look at the numbers, get a good gander, and make sure that you leave your comment, like and subscribe, and share this with your friend. And your boy signing out. Deuces.